Alrighty folks, we're back here working on this old Craftsman slash Poulan 2.1 again, this little baby top handle saw. And where I left off in the last video was I replaced the fuel line, and I pulled it over, still wouldn't fire. So my next plan of attack is to see what's going on in here in this air carburetor, because I don't know if you can see it on camera, you probably can't. No, you can't. But there is absolutely no gas in this line. It's not pulling fuel up. So let's see what's going on here. Now you may have noticed that I removed the handlebar. That's pretty straightforward. If you own one of these saws, it's self-explanatory how to take it out. There's one bolt that goes in right here and two screws in the bottom, and that's it. Just take those out, it comes right out. Okay. Let's remove the carburetor here and see what's going on. This is pretty simple. Your little choke flap just stays on this screw that holds the carburetor down. And there's this other screw here. Let's just take that out. Try to get the fuel line off. Okay, that should let me rotate it so that I can get the throttle linkage off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it looks like the gasket looks good. There's a reed valve down in there. Alright, we're just going to set this piece aside. Alright, so it looks like what we've got here is a Walbro WA WA19 is what it looks like. And let's just break into this thing and see what's going on with her. I don't know if you can see down in this hole right here, but there's supposed to be a little screen in there, and that is just completely clogged with crap. Now I'm going to see if I can get away with just cleaning this. I don't have a rebuild kit for it yet. If need be, I will have to get one. I probably should. That screwdriver's too big. But we're going to see if just cleaning it will do anything. Okay, now I'm going to take the pump diaphragm cover off. I think that's what it's called, pump diaphragm. Diaphragm looks good to me. It doesn't look cracked, and it's not stiff. It's moving good. But I'm still going to try to peel this off without damaging the gasket, so that I can clean underneath all that. Very carefully. Okay, I think we can save that. Okay. Now we're going to take the needle out because it seems like it's sticking. You got this one flathead screw right here. Be careful here because there is a spring that can go flying. Just hold everything down while you're taking the screw out. And just gently lift it out. Okay, the spring stayed on the metering lever in this case. It doesn't always. I'm going to gently grab the needle, pull it out, and it looks pretty clean on this side. Pretty clean indeed. So I'm just going to shoot some carburetor cleaner in here, and you know, little crud like this. I'm just going to scrape most of it out with a little pick, and oh yeah, that screen in there is just totally clogged. Or does it even have a screen? Yeah, there's one still down in there. That's just totally clogged. It could be the... I know that's a problem. I'm not saying it's the problem, but I wouldn't think it would run with that screen clogged like that in there. I'm just gently using this hook pick to loosen up the crud that's in there, and I'm going to blow it out with some compressed air, squirt it with some carb cleaner in every hole and port I can find, and blow it out again with some air, and then we'll put it back together. So hang on, stay tuned. Alright, we're back. I think I've got this carburetor pretty clean now, and you know, I may be able to get away with not using a rebuild kit because I mean all the gaskets and everything seem good. Everything's still flexible and pliable and all that good stuff, so we're just going to stick it back together and see what it does. I'm going to put this side back on first. Okay. Now the slightly tricky part, getting this needle back in. I'm going to put the pin back in the metering lever, and I'm going to try to just hang the needle in there where it's supposed to go. I'll just try to drop this down in there as one unit. Okay, that seemed to go. Just get that pin in there where it goes. Now here's the hard part, trying to get this little tiny screw in there and get it started while you're holding this whole assembly down. I have fairly small fingers, but even my small fingers aren't small enough for this. It's just a little bit fiddly. Okay. I'm going to get a really small screwdriver to tighten that in. Don't want to cross thread this. This is just fairly soft aluminum. Okay. What did I say that was? WA. WA. Okay. I have this neat little tool. This is the what the model number is. Oh, I forgot. But this is actually the Walbro brand metering lever adjustment tool, and you can see on here it's got markings for the different carburetors this thing works with. And this particular carburetor, I want to use this middle part of the W here to check the height of the metering lever. So you just stick it on there, and you just want that to be touching the metering lever. You don't want it to be pushing down on it, and you don't want there to be a gap in between, and that looks good. So we'll leave that alone, and just stick the diaphragm and cover back on here, and we'll get it back in the saw and see what it does. Put these 4 tiny screws back in. Again, don't really crank down on these too hard, and on these you really want to kind of tighten diagonally, just a little bit at a time, just kind of in a crisscross pattern. Just snug them down. Again, remember you are screwing into aluminum, and aluminum will strip out fairly easily. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's stick this little booger back in the saw. So, first thing I'm going to do is get the throttle linkage hooked up. I'm just going to grab it with a pair of needle nose pliers and hold it up and stick it back in the hole that I think it went in. Seems to work pretty good there. Okay, and I'm going to start with the screw that does not have anything to do with the choke. Let's get it started in there. Okay, I'm going to grab the screw with the choke on it. Try to find the hole. I think I did. Get your Phillips. See that you actually need to kind of hold up on this choke butterfly, because this screw has a wider non-threaded part on it, so the screw can be tight but still allow the choke to move. So make sure it's in there properly. And just tighten it down snug with your human powered torque wrench there. Okay. Now we just need to stuck the fuel line back on there. Just shove it on there. diagnostic handle back on. Like I said, I did not show you the removal of this, but I reckon I will show putting it back on. Just a single bolt, 7/16 that goes in that side. And on the bottom here, there's two 5/16. Stick the cover back on. Make sure it engages with your choke, because your choke lever is on top of this cover. Alright, just an update on the little Craftsman Poulan here. I got it to run, but I couldn't get it to stay running. It's like the carburetor is not holding its adjustment, and that kind of leads me to believe that it's got an air leak somewhere, possibly crank seals. I just realized that you may have noticed if you watched my previous video, when I took the flywheel off of this, I was able to kind of move it. I felt just a little wiggle up and down, and I didn't think anything about it, but then I got to thinking, you know, that I don't think it's supposed to do that. It's like if there was a good crank seal there, it wouldn't be rattling like that. So I'm really thinking this thing needs crank seals. I have no idea where I could get the seals for this. Maybe if some of you guys know, just let me know in the comments, and hopefully we can get this thing running, because I mean, you could tell it just sat most of its life. It's not seen a hard life. It's not all banged up. I mean, it's got a few little scratches, but I mean, really, I haven't even cleaned this thing yet. This is what it looked like when I got it. So I think it'd be worth fixing up. But yeah, if you guys could help me out, let me know a good source for some crank seals for this thing. I don't have a vacuum and pressure tester yet. That's something I'm going to have to get very soon, so that I can pressure test these things, especially if I'm going to start messing with crank seals and things like that, which I have not done yet. I'm still learning. I've gotten pretty good with carburetors, I think, but the main problem I've been having with a few saws, this one and a Homelite XL12 I have, is I can get them running, but then I've always found out they just act like they have an air leak. I don't know for sure, because I haven't tested them, but that's just what it seems like. What seems like is happening. So you will be seeing more of this saw in another video. I'll dig into it a little deeper in the future, but in the meantime, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.